in towards his town center here to provide a nice choke point towards his town center. Which means he's going to be able to keep this wood nice and safe, which is very, very important in the early stages of the game. Obviously, you need wood to be able to get farms and buildings and all those sorts of things up as well. His main gold is a little bit out to the front of his base, and it's not terrible because the distance between the gold and the town center isn't that far. So if he does start to get pressured off of this, he can haul his little butt back to the town center and he should be fine. But still, I mean, a main front gold is not really what you want to have. If you can get away with it. His berries as well are a little bit forward, but again, there's not too much of an issue there, seeing as though he can get pretty much straight back to the town center nice and easily as well. His boars are in nice positions. His stone, which is really important as the Mayans, as I was mentioning before, and a little bit of a precarious position out here, as well as one of his extra golds. And both of his stones actually are quite forward, and this is going to be kind of a pain in the neck for him, because if he can't manage to secure these stones, and Melkor can, and Melkor starts getting out plumed archers, it's going to be quite difficult for him to be able to compete with just crossbows in the Castle Age. But we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. I mean, he can easily put a town center here as well and secure one of his stones, and another town center out here as well to secure gold, wood, and stone. So that could be what we expect to see from him there. Zooming down to the other end of the map, I didn't like Melkor's map, to be honest with you. At first glance, I mean, he does have a nice backwood here, as you can see, and he sent 4 over to wood as well, which sort of indicates to me that he will probably be going for a Drush. But he's at the bottom of a hill, he's in a basin the whole way round, and that's going to make it really, really hard for him to try and defend if any pressure does come in from Melkor. Any archers, towers, militia, just anything attacking downhill, he's going to get a nice attack bonus pushing down into Melkor's base, and it's just going to make it that little bit harder for Melkor to be able to try and push back against that. But at the same time, that means that we might see, I don't know, maybe some aggression. This villager here could be going forward to build a barracks to create the drush that we're expecting to see from these two civilizations. And we'll just have to wait and see if this is going to be the barracks. And there we go, barracks popping up on the left here, starting to create a little bit of a wall off across the front of his base, which is definitely what he needs to be doing on account of the fact that he does have these hills, as we mentioned. And trying to get a little bit of map control and map presence up the top of the hills is definitely important if you're playing with a map that is sort of open at the front as well as on a hill. And the other thing to mention, all of his golds, his main, secondary, and tertiary gold, all out on the front of his base, and that's going to be really, really nasty for him as well, because just the same as we were saying for Fire out here, who incidentally has a barracks popping up now as well. If he does get pushed off these golds, that's going to be really difficult for him to try and defend anything and try and push back against them. What have we got going on out here? Melkor's keeping his Eagle Scout buzzing around really, really well. Okay. He's just being cheeky. He's just trying to delay this house coming up here for Fire. And this is not a fight that Fire wants to be taking. The downhill attack bonus from the Eagle Warrior is just going to push this villager away. And Fire was just trying to get a little bit of map presence, a bit of control out on the front of his base here. Maybe looking to get a wall up across this area here. But Melkor's Eagle Warrior is cutting that out. Do you know that I will lame you? Maybe it's a Brazilian thing, what with fee age and all that everyone has to, all the Brazilians have to lame each other. But nice little bit of friendly banter in the chat. Random host type. I know that Sir Lawrence just hosted, but I'm not sure who the other gentleman was. But thank you very much for the hosts and what have you. But we can see the 3 militia now out for Fire, and where are the militia for? Oh, there they are there. Okay, and the militia for Melkor just playing nice and defensive, playing safe at home. Maybe not looking to go out and take map control and take the fight to Fire. Instead, just going to play nice and safe on account of the fact that his map, in terms of the gold, is really, really bad. But we can see that Fire moving out with his militia and his Eagle Warrior now as well. And it's going to be interesting to see who does come out on top in this Drush. It's just going to come down to micro and come down to positioning. And of course, with these villages here as well for Melkor, he could bring them into the fight to push this Drush away if he does decide to do that. Melkor clicking up to the feudal age now though, and 27 villages, so 31 population. It looks like his economy is starting to be set up nicely for a fast castle. He's pushed in some deer. We saw that at the beginning of the game as well. And here we go. This is really bad for Melkor. He's managed to find where the Drush from Fire is, but yeah, he's taken quite a few hits on this Eagle Warrior, and Fire, just like that, has got the upper hand. Take the Fire to Fire. Yeah, exactly. But just like that, Melkor, Fire even, has got the upper hand in this Drush. And back at home, we don't see any walls coming up. So it doesn't look like the Drushfast Castle would be coming in for either player here. Their food count is a little bit low, but, you know, Melkor did push in the deer, and he's still collecting some now as Fire starts to move in on the gold of Melkor. But here we go, a little bit of an engagement here. No patrol coming in for Melkor, but yeah, they're, like we said before, bringing in some villagers into the fight, and he's going to be able to push this, he should be able to take this fight now quite convincingly. But has he lost a villager? No, Melkor's still not lost a villager. He will come out on top in the Drush fight though, but he has lost his Eagle Warrior, so any scouting information that he was hoping to get as to what Fire is doing is no longer going to be happening. That's good, Sir Lawrence, I'm very glad. But yeah, so Melkor coming out on top in the Drush. Both players up to the castle age, the feudal age even, and looks like I was wrong. Looks like their economies are going to be set up quite nicely for a Drushfast castle. Some walls coming up for Melkor on the left-hand side. No walling coming up for Fire though, and this is quite interesting and quite ballsy as well, because if any archers did come in the feudal age from any archers coming in from the feudal age from Melkor, this could be really, really detrimental to Melkor, and this is really nice from Fire as well. Using this militia and his leftover Eagle Scout to deny this archery range. And in these sort of high-level games, every second matters. So delaying this archery range here is really, really nice from Fire. It might give him that little bit of an edge. The blacksmith coming up as well now for Melkor. But every little bit matters in these expert games. Blacksmith coming up for Fire as well. And it looks like the Drushfast Castle is going to be coming up from both players. And I suppose if they're both doing the same thing, it doesn't really matter if neither of them are walled. Fire's probably going to be able to get out some defensive skirmishes or archers of his own, and he's going to be able to push back any aggression that might be coming in from Melkor. But both players up to the castle age in really, really nice times, very similar builds. No one person really having too much of an advantage at the moment. Villager count both on 30 villages. Maybe Fire has a bit of an advantage due to the idle time and what have you that he calls on the gold miners from Melkor, but even at this level I would say it's pretty negligible. And it looks like we're just going to see the classic Drushfast Castle into crossbows, and then with a later transition rather, into the plumed archers from both of these players here. Double Bid-Axe coming in now as well. Double Bid-Axe coming in now as well for Fire, and for Melkor as well. Which is really, really important if you're going to be going archers, because you need a lot of wood income to be able to do that quite successfully as well and efficiently. But at the moment, not too much that we can really say. It's just going to be waiting and waiting and waiting and seeing, maybe speculating where both players are going to be putting their extra town centres when they have the wood and resources to do so. I would imagine, I would have said maybe a town centre out here for Fire, but it doesn't look like he's going to be wanting to do that, considering he is getting some walls up across the left-hand side of his base here, and he's keeping his Eagle Scout nice and active as well, so you can see that Melkor is up on 2 archery ranges. He's got a blacksmith up as well, and now he knows that Melkor is up to the castle age. He's got some archers out with fletching of his own. Fletching only now coming in for Melkor as well, so in that respect, the technology advantage slightly in favor there for Fire, with the crossbowman upgrade coming in now as well. Let's see what Fire is doing. Alright, so he's just continuing his walls at the back of his base and putting up an extra town centre here as well. So he's going to secure this gold and the wood and keep that nice and safe. But a bit of a skirmish coming in here. Both players on even upgrades, even military in terms of the crossbows here. And the militia going down for Melkor. This is really, really nice hill for Fire to cling to as well. And it looks like Melkor is not going to want to take this engagement. He's going to go back, and he's getting Bodkin error. Maybe once Bodkin error kicks in, he'll decide to engage this as well. But we can see the walls also continually coming up for both players, and a tower coming up on the main gold here for Melkor. Now that's a really, really good move because it keeps his gold nice and safe. But the problem is he now can't put up any extra town centers unless he mines some gold. And Bodkin error has been done for not for Fire, but he has got this hill, and he's getting reinforcements coming from a lot closer in terms of his archery range position and placement compared to Melkor as well. So it looks like he might be able to take... Oh, I don't know. It might be able to take this fight. Bodkin error coming in now for Fire. This is really, really fantastic micro, though. If Fire can hold on until Bodkin error kicks in, he's going to be in a really, really nice position here. And Bodkin error still hasn't come in. The crossbowman's still coming out, and Melkor has made his way to the top of the hill, and this could be a really good engagement now for Melkor as more reinforcements does come in. Mine's stone, not gold. Yes, that's what I meant. And reinforcements coming in for Fire now as well. It's 5 crossbows to 3 now in favour of Melkor. 5 to 2. Oh my goodness, that was such a good fight for Melkor. Now, if he can keep this fight and take the push... if he can keep the pressure going, keep the momentum going, he's going to be in a really, really nice position to start idling and maybe even killing off some of the economy here from Fire. As Fire starts to bring in the female villagers to take the fight. Don't send male villagers to do a female's job, I guess. But the military is really, really in favour of Melkor at the moment, and I guess that's also in part to the fact that he hasn't invested extra resources into getting an extra town centre up, extra 2 town centres up even, like Fire has done. We can see the villager lead starting to pull ahead ever so slightly here for Fire, and even though he's in a bit of a precarious situation with regards to the military, his military, he's going to be in a nice position the longer that he manages to hold on, since his economy is just going to start pulling further and further ahead. And I can't see any stone being taken for Melkor at the moment either, but this was looking really, really nice for Melkor in terms of military. He's starting to idle quite a bit. 13 idle villages for Fire's economy here, now gone down to 2 because he's managed to pay attention and pull that out. But a skirmisher coming out here, and that's going to be quite nice as well for Fire, just being able to add a little bit more tankiness to his army here, and it seems like it's settling down a little bit now. Both players on +2, but +1 defense has been done for Melkor. And here we go, forward siege workshop, and that's what I was saying. The the aggressive play here, the 1 TC. It's still 1 TC, but the 1 TC play here from Melkor means that he can. The 1 TC power play here means that Melkor can invest more resources into army, as is evidenced here by the fact that he's getting this forward siege workshop up, and Fire moving to the back gold, and this is a really, really nice play for him as well. We didn't really focus too much on that at the beginning of the game, but it's looking really, really good for Melkor at the moment if he can keep pressing this advantage with this forward siege workshop. It doesn't really matter how much economy you have, because if your military production buildings are getting taken down by mangonels or rams, it's going to be really, really hard for you to be able to pull back. And here we go, the forward siege workshop. Is there anything popping out of there? Of course, there's mangonel popping out straight away. Melkor starting to move around to the back of Fire. No, he's going back. He doesn't want to poke his head out just at the moment. And we saw the stone transition back here as well for Melkor. So we could be expecting to see either an extra town centre, or maybe he's just going to go 1 TC the whole time and try and get up an earlier castle and get those plumes out. A little bit quicker than Fire, who is moving 1 villager over to stone now as well, but that's not going to be enough. No, this is not PG Fire, this is Brazilian. I don't know if PG was a former clan of Fires, but no, this is the Brazilian Fire. Anyway, as I was saying, back to it, we have another mangonel coming out here for Melkor, and this forward aggression is really, really nice. 8 villages in the lead for Fire here, but he's having to evacuate pretty much the whole front part of his economy. There's quite a few idle villages banked up in this town centre of his, and this forward aggression from Melkor is paying dividends, really. If he could get an extra couple of town centres up now, or maybe even an extra town centre up to try and close this villager deficit, Melkor would be in a fantastic position. And he's just a few cheeky crossbows over here, making Fire vacate that whole wood line completely and utterly. And this is really, really taxing on Fire's economy, and Melkor's in at the back of his base as well. This is not looking good for Fire. Melkor is playing a fantastic game. He's keeping a few cheeky crossbows here to keep, well, was keeping Fire off this main wood line here. He's moved his crossbows around here to deny that stone income, and now, oh, Mangonel 1 for none. That was a really nice shot from Fire. If he can get a few more good shots before Melkor notices, one archery range down. But here we go. Is it going to be a 1-for-1 trade, or are we going to see a bit of a Mangonel tango, a mango tango? No, both players just going back, and Melkor decided to go and clean up these 3 pesky little crossbows over here to the western side of his base, and just like that, those 3 pesky crossbows toward the west of his base have been cleaned up. But more Mangonels coming out now as well. More Mangonels coming out now for Melkor, and what Fire needs to do is he needs to also continually pump out those mangonels, because unless you have really good micro, where you just get quite lucky, it's quite difficult to be able to hold off your opponent if you're not at least evenly matched in terms of mangonel numbers. And another Mango Tango coming in, and it looks like nice attack ground there from Melkor, but no luck. Mango Tango, very good. Yeah, nice attack ground there from Melkor, but oh, Fire, lovely, lovely micro. And at the moment, Fire has, I believe, lost neither or no mangonels, and he's managed to take down 2 of Melkor's mangonels and also pick up a handful of crossbows here and there. Nice mangonel micro again. Still no mangonels having gone down for Fire. This is absolutely insane. Micro repairing villager coming in, and no, another mangonel coming out for Fire. Another one coming out for Melkor. How the hell do these guys focus on absolutely everything at the same time? There's still an 8 villager deficit as well for Melkor, but it's 3 mangonels to 2, and Fire still not having lost 1 mangonel. Finally losing a mangonel, but also Fire losing both of his archery ranges, and a nice pick there from him as well. This is fantastic. Fantastic micro, except for the fact that Fire now has no archery ranges and therefore is not going to be able to pump out any more crossbows. So he's going to have to rely completely on his mangonels to be able to pull himself back in the game. And a nice dodge there from Fire as well. The attack ground coming in, and that mangonel is... How did that survive? How are these mangonels surviving? This is crazy. The mangonel down for Fire. And this is not looking good now. He needs to get another mangonel out. Does he have one popping out? Yes, he does have a couple of mangonels popping out. But still, the forward aggression continually comes in from Melkor. And Melkor can throw up a castle now as well. Is he going to be cheeky and drop it on the front? Looks like his gold miners might be going forward to do just that. But Fire sending out a little contingency of crossbows over to the other side of... over to Melkor's base. And if he's paying attention, he's going to be able to get a lot of free villager picks in here. But it turns out he wasn't paying attention, so Fire's going to try and do a bit of a counterattack, and he's going to run headlong into Melkor's tower at the front of his base. But let's just follow these villagers. It looks like they're going to be going for a cheeky castle drop right at the front of Fire's base here, and that would spell, oh, not GG, but that would be really, really hard for Fire to be able to defend against. And there we go, forward castle. Fire got those crossbows. He had them still buzzing around from before his archery ranges got taken down. So the forward castle, and let's see if it's going to be denied. A couple of mangonels here from Fire attempting to deny it. And a little bit of just being a bit of a nuisance here at the back of Melkor's base as well. He's going to be able to find a few villager kills, but not too many. Melkor does have an extra town centre up at the back of his base, securing this wood, but 1 villager going down. How many villagers is he going to be able to pick off? That's a huge villager deficit now, though. That's fantastic. 16 villagers. I think it's 16. Yeah, you should never try and do math on stream. But it looks like 16 villagers in the lead for Fire. And if he can... Oh, he's denied the castle as well. So it looks like he might be in a really good position to start stabilising and pull this back. Especially with these crossbows buzzing around the back of Melkor's base, getting another villager that looks like the fourth villager even for fire at the back of Melkor's base here, and he's still buzzing around, just being a nuisance, really. To be honest with you, just being a nuisance. And fire looking, no, he isn't getting a castle up yet, but he has moved quite heavily over onto stone, sensing that. Wow, sensing that he was in a good position as well to be able to start pushing his economy lead, and fire has played that really, really well. That was fantastic from Fire. The forward aggression from Melkor. I thought he might have been able to do it when he missed out, or when he punctured through this sort of non-existent hole, I guess you could say, and took down those those archery ranges. But that was just fantastic. The small contingency of crossbows as well maybe put the nail in the coffin, or maybe it was the fact that the villager deficit here from Melkor was 18. That was just really, really well played from Fire, and I guess I guess he's not I guess he's not a 2K player for nothing. But that was a really, really nice game. I'm a little bit upset that we didn't get to see the plumed archers, because they're a fantastic unit. They're just really, really cool to look at, but that's okay. All right, so yeah, that was the first game. So we'll come out of that now, real quick, and I'll switch the scene. Actually, we'll have a look at the achievements. Have a quick look at the achievements. So military stats, a KD, a really, really nice KD here for Fire. Obviously, he's killed more than he has lost, otherwise it wouldn't have been a very nice KD. The wood and gold, which is all you really needed when you were going for mangonels and archers, both in favor here. Both in favor here for Fire. Yeah, well played, really, really well played from. Nope, that is not the right scene. Really, really well played there from Fire. So let me just quickly update the score. I believe that's 1 to Fire. Fantastic. Poor. Not a bad game. Not a bad game at all. Alright, I'm just going to grab a quick drink, and then I will be right back, guys.